displayed it here for police to repair. Suppose if your prayer is answered, it doesn't have any time. And coconut. Yes, yes.
Ice. So ice, there is a problem with ice.
I see. So they are bodies of international I see. What you ask, the symbol that is
No, not only symbol, see, people use it on their mouth as a penance. Yes, whatever prayer, spear, such a lengthy ones. Yes, so you can see the there is kinds of drums that they use.
I see all the Mariamman already. Yeah.
So that is one such thing.
Cái này người ta xuyên qua miệng ấy, nặng ghê.
And that's a small one.
Cắt lại chứ.
Good morning, delegates and speakers, guests, faculty members, President sir and Secretary sir, may I have your permission to start the proceedings? Today is an auspicious day in the month of Audi. In Tamil culture, this is an auspicious month, particularly Friday is considered to be very, very auspicious. We feel that Mariamman deity has brought us together, and today is going to be a very memorable day for all of us. Let us all raise up for Tamil Thai. This is part of our Tamil tradition. We hail the mother of Tamil through a song. This is the prayer song we play in the beginning of our formal meetings. Let us pay tribute to Tamil Thai.
வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும்
Tamilnadu. I'm a faculty member of this great institution. We call this institution as a temple of learning. Our college was started in the year 1967. This is our 58th year on the go. This is a rural institution catering to the needs of the farmers of in and around Trichy. We have received students from entire Tamilnadu, entire India, and we have international students too. This institution has been accredited with A+ grade for the second cycle by the assessment agency appointed by Government of India. I feel proudly say that there are only a few number of colleges out of the 41,000 colleges in India. I could say we stand within the 100. We have such a reputation and we feel honored by all your presence. Our college administration, faculty members and staff members and our students extend a very, very warm and cordial welcome to you. Our principal is interested with the job of welcoming you. Before that, I would like to provide a preamble about our college. I invoke the patron soul of our institution, Thiru Mookapillai and Tirumati Chellamal Mookapillai. This visionary had a noble cause of spreading education. He earned a lot of money by his hard work as a tea plantation worker in Malaysia. He brought all that hard-earned money to invest in human resources development. In the pre-independence India, he was one of the popular gentlemen from this area who was very keen on removing the poverty of the people. So far, we claim that we have produced around 50,000 graduates, around 30,000 postgraduates, around the thousands of PhD scholars. This was the vision formulated by our founder, an unlettered man, but we consider him as a mobile university. He had the vision of bringing all the village people here, establishing a school, and then a high school, and then a higher secondary school, and then a college. He had the vision and he was called a true Gandhian in spirit and in action. We have a feeling that he takes part in every activity of the college. So at this juncture, yes sir, at this juncture I invoke the heavenly soul to bless us all. So with this word, I move on to our former chairman, Professor M. Puthanampatti. He was the principal of this college, founder principal of this college, serving from 1967 to 1993. He was a professor of physics. He did all the plan for this institution to grow in leaps and bounds. So this institution is enjoying an A+ grade because of his hard work. We consider him as the guiding star, morning star. He is leading us. I would like to mention here another auspicious aspect here about we used to call Professor Ponnambalam, we used to call him as Ayya, and his consort Tirumati Sivaneswari Ponnambalam. We used to call her Amma. Amma is known for his pious nature, his devotion to Sri Mariamman deity. On all Fridays, there will be a lot of puja celebration in her house. It will start around 9 o'clock and it will go up to 12 noon. 3 hours of prayer. As a staff member from this college, I have a feeling only she brought all of you here, all the way from Vietnam, to witness such kind of offerings. I'm not exaggerating. I have a feeling she has brought in the month of Audi, in the month of celebration given to God, Sri Mariamman. So again, I seek the blessings of both the noble souls on this occasion to make the program a grand success. So following the footprints of their grandfather and father and mother, our President Sri Pon Balasubramanian and our Secretary Sri Pon Ravichandran, they carry forward the noble cause of spreading education to the rural people by finding out a lot of innovations, a lot of collaboration, a lot of twinning, a lot of new ventures. And this is one such venture. We are a part of it today. Our President, Sri Pon Balasubramanian, is an engineer by profession, but he is known for his precision, quality consciousness. So he does things with a meticulous touch. So another noble soul, we have the leader, Sri Pon Ravichandran, the secretary of our college. He is an industrious person. He makes things happen in a beautiful manner. Both of them are very much concerned about quality. For them, quality is something unique. It doesn't come to us all on a sudden. It is never an accident. For them, quality is the result of high intention. They have this high intention. They have this dedication. To make this happen, they have been working for about a month. They would like to see quality in every aspect. That is why we are all here. The institution is quality conscious always, and we are all working towards obtaining A++ in order to provide quality education to those who are coming to us. And under this leadership, under their leadership, we march ahead. We have a very dynamic principal, Dr. E. Venkatesan. He is a professor of physics and he is specialized in non-linear dynamics, and he is an expert in chaos theory, and he is also very good in quantum physics. So you can have a look at his profile by entering into ResearchGate, the foreign delegates. He is a pure science man, but he has a lot of vision to carry forward this institution. So under his leadership, we march ahead. Now I call upon formally Dr. Venkatesan, the principal of our college, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to everyone. One thing I add along with Dr. Tamilnadu. Our college is the first college to start computer science in arts and science in the year 1982-83. So because of that, nearly 55,000 students from all over India working computer professionals. So India leads because of our college in the computer professionals. That is the thing that I wish to add. I deem it a great honor conferred upon me to deliver the welcome address for this seminar on Sri Mariamman cult. A special thank to our chief guest of the day, Professor Dr. Novadi Tuan, President of University. Am I right, ma'am? Any corrections, please? Dr. Lang. Dr. Lang, President of University of Social Sciences and Humanities of Vietnam National University, Kochi, Minang City. Am I right? It is a great honor to be graced by the presence of such an eminent professor and excellent leader researcher. Thank you for accepting our invitation, ma'am. On behalf of Nehru Memorial College, we welcome you, Madam President. We wish to express our gratitude to our guest, Srimati Virinda Ramanan and Sri J. Ramanan for joining this seminar. We feel privileged to have such a successful writers Their book on Samaipuram, Tirupati are hallmark of their writing. They accept our invitation to make an audio-visual presentations on worship of Shakti. On behalf of Nehru Memorial College, we welcome you, ma'am and sir. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our guest of honor, Professor M. Seren, expert archaeologist, Kiledi, and formerly Honorable Advisor to Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Government of Tamilnadu. He has accepted our invitations and will speak on unique religious practice of Amman worship. On behalf of Nehru Memorial College, we welcome you, sir. It is my bound duty to welcome Dean, Vice Deans, heads of the department, professors and researchers of University of Social Science and Humanities of Vietnam National University, Ho Chi Minh City. Welcome you, sir. Actually, I want to each individually name, but I am unable to that. Sorry for that.
Yes, you want to say something?
It is great honor to welcome our college president, Engineer Pon Balasubramaniam, has graciously accepted to preside over the function. We welcome you, sir. It is my immense pleasure to welcome our college secretary, Sri Pon Ravichandran, for his encouragement and support for organizing this seminar. Welcome you, sir. Not only for this seminar, she is motherhoodly supporting all our activities of the college. None other than our Mrs. President, Mala Balasubramaniam. We welcome you, ma'am. For a month, in spite of their activities, they are supporting for organizing this seminar. They are none other than Mr. Surya, Treasurer of our college, Miss Syria, consultant of our activities. We welcome you, ma'am and sir. We profoundly thank Vice Principal, Deans, Head of the Department of Tamil, IQAC Coordinator of Self-Financing, and all other faculties for their constant and continuous support. We welcome you, sir and madam. I do hope that this morning discussions will make our college a step ahead in collaborations with research and other activities. I believe that everyone assists for this to reach another laurel for our college. Once again, we welcome every one of you. Thank you.
Now I request our College Committee President Sri Pon Balasubramaniam sir to initiate the interaction.
Thank you very much for your introduction. And so now for the introduction, maybe I and the President we will agree with each other. First, I will say something, and later we will have the presentation, and after that we will go directly to the discussion. So first of all, as introduction, my name is Lang. I'm the president of the University of Social Sciences and Humanities, and I'm here with the delegation of the professor from the University of Social Sciences and Humanities. So first of all, I am very grateful for the very warm welcome from the Nehru Memorial College. We feel very helpful. Thanks for your welcome, especially for your professor and also for the student. And thanks for your introduction. We are very impressed with what you have achieved from a very long tradition from your grandparents and your parents, and now your very big family. Congratulations on what you have achieved, and we wish and believe that you will have a very big success in the future with a very great and consolidation. And for our university and the delegation, maybe some professor and especially the presenter, thank you very much for your coming and sharing with us what you have done today. Our delegation is including many professors major in culture and archaeology also. We have interest in Mariamman belief. In Vietnam, we call the belief. Maybe here, we call the religion. And we very impressed that here in the south of India, many Indian people, they worship Mariamman religion. Because in Ho Chi Minh City, the location that our university located, there's a group of people, they practice this belief, but they don't know exactly the name of the goddess. They just practice, and they call this just the Indian goddess. They don't know the name of the Mariamman. So our university want to have more information about this religion and belief in order to give some more advice for the local authority and especially for the temple, so that they can have appropriate practice and also the policy, so that to have this belief and religion in the future, especially for their renovation and also the practice. So that's why we come here the original place of the Mariamman practice. We want to have the comparison, so that we can, when we come back, we can organize the conference on this belief. So this is our intention. Thank you very much for your wonderful preparation, especially Madam. Well, I call the ambassador, Mana. She hosts me, and also today she will prepare everything in very detail. Even though you, the professor, come to the temple, maybe you cannot access to these detail, and also the explanation very systematically and also very richful. So thank you very much for the very prayer. So today, and also you invite a very well-known expert. We all know that from the reporter from Hindu group yesterday, and they are, today you know that they are very well-known expert in Mariamman religion to present for our professor. Thank you very much. And especially, maybe I think that is the hint, or maybe the hint from Mariamman goddess, that this is the auspicious day that we come to each other for our future collaboration. Yes, so for all of us, thank you very much for all the kindness, the emotion, the love that you, Nehru Memorial College, have given to our delegation. Thank you very much. So now maybe we come to the presentation, and after that, our professor from the delegation will have more questions in order to understand more about the practice and maybe the ritual or something like that related to the Mariamman religion in the south of the India. Once again, thank you very much, my very beloved friends, especially Madam, Syria, Surah, and the brother, and the resident, the principal. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, madam, for the words from your heart. Thank you so much. Now I request Mrs. Shriya Balasubramanian to present a memento to Dr. Lal, the president of National University.
Can I open it? Yes. So that, I will tell the story. I know it. I know the story. This is the statue of Mariamman statue. Because this is the symbol of health. So that's why Madam Mala gave to me and for our university. And this is for the goddess of knowledge. Saraswati. I have a trouble of remember the name, so I just know the symbol of knowledge. And this is for health. Mariamman, so I know the name. Okay. So this is the symbol for health, and this is for the knowledge because we are from the university. So Madam is for our university. Thank you very much.
I think the president of National Vietnam University, Dr. Lan, is presenting a memento to our college committee president and secretary. He is presented with a memento by Mr. Shriya Balasubramanian.
We would like to say thank you so much for our. We would like to address our colleagues to have to organize very warm welcome to us. And I think that it is a very meaningful workshop for our expert who will understand about the Mariamman worship in this like we also has some gift would like to give you and your colleagues. This is one Vietnamese book was written by our professor, Professor Tim. And we has some gift from our faculty, the Faculty of Cultural Study.
As part of the delegation visit, our college is very much happy to enter an MOU with National University of Vietnam. Now, I would like to request our college committee president, Sri Pon Balasubramanian, and the president of National University of Vietnam, University of Social Sciences and Humanities, Dr. Lan, to sign the MOU formally and exchange the MOU. As part of our Tamil culture and tradition, Mrs. Vrinda Ramanan and Mr. Ramanan, they would like to present a memento to the President of National University of Vietnam. I call upon Mrs. Vrinda Ramanan and Mr. Ramanan to present the memento. A book written by them, it is published very recently. This is about Sri Mariamman deity. Now we enter into the presentation part of the seminar, the crux of the program, and we feel honored by the presence of Mrs. Ramanan and Mr. Ramanan. I take the privilege of introducing both of them to the august audience. Mr. Ramanan is a practicing architect and he is a versatile personality. He is a photographer, he is a writer, he is a mountaineer, and he is an orator. He is a lover of cultural heritage. As I told you, he is a mountaineer. He has been to the great Himalayas many times in a year. So far, he has inspired and trained thousands of young people. And one such young person is among the gathering, our own college committee treasurer, Mr. Surya Balasubramanian. He has been with them for quite a lot of time. He has scaled the Himalayas so many times. So I wonder at the passion that Mr. Ramanan possesses. He has been taking a lot of pictures across the Himalayas, across the country. Particularly, they are very much interested in leaving records. So far, they have published 3 books. All the 3 books are very much received by a government of audience. The books are Srirangam Bhuloga Vaikuntham, Tirumala Kaliyuga Vaikuntham, and the recent one, Samayapuram, the seat of Sakti. And they have done an extensive research on Samayapuram, Mariamman, and the presentation is going to speak for volumes. And it is my bound duty to introduce Mrs. Brinda Ramanan too. She is a graduate in English literature and she is a qualified Bharatanatyam dancer. I know about her dance school and she has inspired so many trainers so far. So many young people have been trained by her. She is a Bharatanatyam dancer herself. And apart from Bharatanatyam, she is also trained in yoga, kind of self-service or paying back to the society. They have a yoga center in Trichy, where I also reside. My son is a disciple of Mrs. Brinda Ramanan. She has trained him and now he is practicing that yoga and he has got a lot of benefits. So apart from this, she is also trained in Tai Chi and Reiki. She is the artistic director of Balakala Vidhanam, an academy of Indian arts where classical arts and yoga are being taught. And she is also a trained mountaineer. They have been kept in the form of exhibitions in major cities of India, and they have been received well and they have been appreciated for that. I wonder at their amazing interest, and now we are going to have an amazing performance by both of them. They have been getting ready for the past 2 to 3 days. I am almost thrilled to see their industriousness. Over to Mr. Ramanan and Mrs. Brinda Ramanan. Please, ma'am.
Good morning to all of you, especially the delegates from Vietnam. In fact, we feel brotherly with Vietnamese because if you read your history, you were all Hindus at one point of time. And it's not a great wonder that you have Mariamman temple there, and you also have so many Hindu temples like Natharan, Ponagar, Myson's complex, all these temples. In fact, our next book is going to be tracing the temple architecture of Tamilnadu, and we have been traveling all over India. We have been to Borobudur, we have been to Prambanan, Bali. And next month, 9th, 10th and 11th, we are in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. Then we are going to Natharam and other places. So As a prelude, it's very nice to see you all here, all scholars. So let's start the program. Can we switch on one of the lights? Worshipping of Shakti and the glory of Samayapuram, Sri Mariamman. So, first, before going into the detail, just for about 5 minutes I give an introduction, then Vrinda will take over. So can you have the next slide please? This is historical connections between Vietnam, of course it was known as Champa Kingdom, all of you know that, and India was Bharat. So we had political connection, then we have religious connections, and we have trading connections. In fact, it is the trading which brought the Hinduism to Vietnam. In fact, all of the Southeast nations, like there was a trader called Kautilya, he was the one who went to Cambodia. Then probably that is how Hinduism spread all over the place. In fact, Champa Kingdom was ruled once by the nephews of Pallavas, Hiranyavarman, then Bhimavarman, and all these places. So we have a great historical connection with India. In fact, all those countries were Hindu kingdom once. Then it became Buddhist, and now other religions are also picking up. So we'll discuss about the political. Next, I don't know how many of you have gone to this temple. This is called the Vaikunta Perumal temple in Kanchipuram. And in Kanchipuram, those days Pallavas were ruling, and in Champa kingdom there was Hiranyavarman and Bhimavarman. That family of kings were ruling in Champa kingdom. And at one point of time in the Pallava kingdom, Mahendran II, he died in a war. He had no child, he didn't have a boy or a girl. There was nobody to rule the country. At that time, it is believed that the people from Kanchipuram, from the Pallava country, they went searching for lineage for the Pallava. It is not established, it is for you people from Vietnam to build this relationship or find out more details about that. There was a young lad, 12 years old lad in Vietnam at that time. We don't know, it is not established still. It is believed by some of the historians that a young lad of Bhimavarman's son came, crossed all the seas, rainforests, and he was brought to Kanchipuram. And he became a great king here, Pallava king. His name is Nandivarman II, or Nandivarman Pallava Malla. So he's supposed to be from Vietnam, but it's not established. It's only believed. It is, some historians believe that, and that will be a wonderful idea for you scholars to do this. Next, please. So this is how Vietnam and India we were related. Then religious spread of Hinduism by the traders. All the other Semitic religions were spread by war, by force, whereas Hinduism was spread by the traders, more on peaceful terms. So, for example, this is from Cambodia. This is, what is this temple? Where you can see Shiva dancing and Karekala Mayar on the down. So, this was also built by the traders. This is in Cambodia. The next slide, please. Then we have in other countries, like in Vietnam, we have temples, Mason's complex and all that. All these were built by the traders. So the trading took place in the ancient Silk Route, China, then Champa, Cambodia, Siam, Srivijaya, Kadaram, Bharat, Alexandria and Rome. This is how the old Silk Route took place, and this is how the culture, the political connection, everything was established, and we all came together in those days. Maybe about 1,300, 1,500 years back, the whole thing was Hinduism. Now today you have forgotten about Mariamman, but all your ancestors must have been worshipping Mariamman. Next. So what is this Shakti, concept of Shakti? Mariamman is supposed to be a concept of Shakti. I will request Vrinda to continue this.
Since we have started with the concept of Shakti, I'll start with a small invocation to her. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Bhumau Skhalita Padanam Bhumireva Balambanam Tvayi Jata Paradhanam Tvameva Sharanam Shive. So it says, as Mother Earth is the crutch, she protects us when we fall down. Similarly, O Mother Goddess, Universal Mother, kindly take care of us and may you be the crutch for us and protect us when we deviate from the dharmic path. That's what it says. So with this small prayer, I will start with the concept of Shakti. When we say concept of Shakti, you must remember that Bharat was a country with was a matriarchal country. So we always say Tamilnadu, Matrubhumi. We say Tamilnadu, Matrubhumi, Matrubhasha, Thai Mori. We always give importance to the mother. That is the culture that we follow in Bharat itself, entire Bharat. So every child is known by the mother's name. Yashoda Nandan. The son of Yashoda is Krishna. Krishna was known as Yashoda Nandan. Arjuna was known as Kaunteya. So son of Kunti. Kunti was his mother. So that's how even today it is being practiced. Even today the child is, if you don't know the mother's name and if you know the child, they will only call the child by the mother's name. You know, so it's they'll call the mother by the child's name. So that's a very interesting prelude to the concept of Shakti. And when this Shakti started, when this Shakti worship started, we really don't know, because it's been going on since very, very many yugas. Like in the Treta, in the Satya Yuga, you find all the demons, all the devas fighting against the demons only after propitiating Devi. Similarly, in the Treta Yuga also, you find Sri Rama. He goes to fight, when he steps into Lanka to fight with Ravana, he performs the 9-day Navaratri before that, and before he vanquishes Ravana. And then you have in the Dwapara Yuga, you have Durga herself coming as Krishna's sister and prophesying the death of Kamsa at the hands of Krishna. So again, Arjuna also prayed to worship Durga before going to fight in the Kurukshetra war against the Kauravas. And then today in the Kali Yuga, we have Devi as the main deity. For the Kali Yuga, we believe that Mariamman and Ganesha, these are the two main deities that we propitiate. So going on from there, the Vedic culture, the Vedic age was very progressive, and we had women taking part in administration, in warfare, in arts, dance, music, literature, in everything they were taking part. And it's also believed in the Brahadaranyaka Upanishad mentions the presence of Gargya Maharishi. Now this Gargya Rishi was a female Rishi, and who was in the court of intellectuals, and it's in the court of intellectuals. And these are all proofs that Shakti was always given a lot of importance. And Mariamman here is known by let's see the meaning of the term Mariamman. Mari means rain and Amman means mother. So she is the mother who showers infinite mercy on all her devotees. So, and there are different kinds of Mariamman. We have, Mariamman is known by very many names, Navamari, Tavamari, and what else? I mean, Muttumari. Then, you know, she also takes on the name of the place she is from, like Pollachi Mariamman, Malaysia Mariamman, Durban Mariamman. Durban is a place in South Africa, and you have a Mariamman temple there. So she takes on that name. And Bannari Amman. So there are, and if you go further down, you will also see that the people, the Tamil people, we worship Kottravai. The worship of Kottravai is also mentioned in the Sangam literature. Yeah, I have. So Kottravai, and now I'll show you a few of the different the ways in which, like I told you, the Devas, they always, before they went to war, they always propitiated Devi. Similarly, this was followed by the kings too. So the kings gave a lot of importance to Devi worship. And Kottravai means, Kottram means victory, and the mother of Avvai means mother. So she was the mother for war, of warriors, and every time the kings would pray to her before they went to war to ensure that they emerged victorious. This is the Brihadishwara temple, Amman, and you can see that this is Ardhanarishwara. So we'll go to that concept later. The Ardhanarishwara is each one of us has the male gamete and the female, right? So each one of us is a combination of the two, both the union of the male and the female, the yin and the yang, as you say. So that is, this is one of the 64 manifestations of Shiva. Shiva and Parvati are Shakti and Shiva and Shakti are Prakriti and Purusha. So Prakriti and Purusha is the combination of matter and energy. So here you have the culmination of matter and energy. So only if matter and energy come together, there will be creation. Matter alone cannot, will not be able to manifest anything. You need the energy, and Shakti is the energy that goes into the Purusha to manifest everything. So that is one thing. And it is here that she was considered, Kottravai was considered to be the, geographically the land was divided into according to the mountains, the hills were Kurunji and Neidal and Palai. There were such divisions geographically, and she was the goddess of the Palai. But in spite of that, everybody prayed to her, and every village had dressed one of their little girls as Devi and took her around for that one day. She would be dressed as, this was a practice that you find in the literature of those days. So you have the Chola kings, the Chalukyas, the Pallavas, all of them had propitiated Mahishasura Mardini, and they presented her in various ways by their own artisans. So here you have Ardhanarishwara.
This is from Chalukya. This is Badami, and because she is a warrior goddess, she always goes on a lion's back, and you can see all the weapons. This is the worship of Mariamman or worship of Shakti is pan-India. It's not just confined to Tamilnadu. So this is from Chalukyas. This is again from early Chalukyas, Badami. There you can see she is slaying a demon, and you can see all kinds of weapons in her hands. This is from Mahabalipuram. again Durga, Shakti or Mariamman, whatever you want you can call it. Like she is the power, Shakti, yin and yang. And without Shakti there is no Shiva. Shivam illayil Shakti illai, Shakti illayil Shivam illai. Shiva without Shakti is Savam. That means Shiva is dead body if there is no Shakti. So this is the kind of importance our Hinduism and ancestors paid homage to the womanhood.
So this is from Mahabalipuram. If you have visited Mahabalipuram, you should go to this particular panel and see it. It's a very beautiful panel where you see Durga fighting against Mahishasura. So Mahisha was a demon who had gained very special boons from Lord Brahma, and he wanted to, he was fighting against everybody and causing a lot of destruction in the world and in the domain of the gods. So the gods went to Shiva, and that was how she was created. Parvati comes as Mahishamardini and drives the Mahisha is half. He was born to Rambha and some king of Asuras who was called Rambha, and to his wife who was also a demon, and the result was a very weird looking creature which had the head of a bull and the body of a human being. So yeah.
This was created by one of the greatest kings of the Pallavas. His name is Mahendravarman. In fact, his relatives, his cousins were ruling at that time your kingdom, Champa kingdom. This was some 1400 years back. Mahendravarman, at that time Champa, Vietnam was being ruled by Hiranyavarman, Bhimavarman, and later it was supposed to be Pallava Malla who had come to India.
This again is another beautiful depiction of Mahishamardini. And then you have, that was by the Rashtrakutas. Yeah, this is a very beautiful, again, Mahishamardini in Brihadishwara temple, and if you will be visiting, you should see this. It's a very perfect, a perfectly proportionate creation. And this again is Mahishamardini. She is standing on the top of the bull's head, showing that she has vanquished, and this is by the Nayakas. That was by Rajaraja Chola. The next one is this is again, this is in Gangaikonda Cholapuram. This is by Rajendra Chola, and this is Kottravai. The one you see.
Pointer.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is.
It show on the screen, not on the screen.
Yeah.
Show on this side.
On the left hand side.
Left side.
The TV may
That is Kottravai. She is the goddess of war and warriors. And then this is Nishuva Shudini. I told you all Chola kings. All kings they prayed to some form of goddess, mother goddess, before they went to war, and this was created by Vijayalaya Chola, this temple is in Tanjavur, and every time they went to war, they would pray to her. Actually, I am reminded of a story, but that I can't really relate it here because it will take a long time, so you could go and look up for it. The Vijayalaya Chola and Nishumba Shudini. This again is Mahishasura-mardini, and this is from the Nayaka period. This again is from the Nayaka period. This is in Darasuram, right? No. This is in Brihadishwara, on the other side. Yes, of the main temple. This is Vishnu Durga in the Prasanna Venkateshwara temple. Vishnu Durga was also, so why we are showing you all this is, before we come to Mariamman, this is just a prelude to show you that everybody worships Mother. Mother worship is so universal as far as India is concerned. Even if you go, whether it's a Vaishnavite or a Shaivite, Shakta worship is an integral part of our lives, of our religion also, of our dharma. This is Putra Mariamman. Mariamman is given the guise of a putra, where all snakes, the place where snakes reside, that is given a lot of importance because Mariamma has snakes all over her body, probably because she is the wife of Lord Shiva. Shiva also sports snakes all over him. So this is Putra Mariamman. This is the Mula Murti that you see in Mariamma temple. She has sports a sword. She has a vessel in one hand. She has the heads of all the Mayasura and his brothers on her waist, and this is in Samayapuram, and she doesn't come out of the Sanctum Sanctorum. She is represented by a small murti which is called the processional deity, and that murti is brought out because the Mula Murti is made of stone. It is Swayambhu. Swayambhu is, it has manifested on its own. It has not been created by humans. So we will be dealing with all this in a very short, in this short time. Legends of Mariamman, the temple precincts, festivals, Abhishekams and the Bhaktas. So this is a story of how this is the relationship between how she came to earth and the relationship between Lord Vishnu and Durga. Durga is his sister, is considered to be Lord Vishnu's sister. In the Treta Yuga comes up a demon. He's a very bad ruler and he's not liked by his people at all. He gets his cousin sister, his favorite cousin sister, Devaki, married to Vasudeva. And when the two get married and they are shown around the town, there is a prophecy from the sky that says, "Oh Kamsa, don't be so happy that you're going, that you're going out with your sister and showing your kingdom. Her 8th son is going to be your undoing. He is going to vanquish you. He is going to kill you." So that angers him so much that he puts her, he encloses them in a cell, both of them, kills all the 7 children. She says only the 8th one is going to kill, not the rest. But he is insistent and he kills all the children. When the 8th baby is born, it's a beautiful baby and it is Krishna, it's an avatar of Lord Vishnu. And Devaki is, she's really restless and very anxious. Vasudeva carries this baby through, it is raining, and through the floods he carries the baby to Gokula, where Nanda, his cousin, has also given birth. Nanda's wife has also given birth to a baby girl. So he believes that if the baby girl is brought, the Kamsa would think, after all it's a girl and he may not kill her. But he is so senseless and he is so overcome with pride and anger that, Kamsa holds the baby and dashes it to the ground. But the child just flies from his hand. He just flies into the skies laughing, and she prophesies, "Your baby is still there. The baby who is going to vanquish you, who is going to destroy you, is still alive." And she disappears into the sky. So she is Durga. She says, "I am Durga." So she is Durga, and hence both Krishna and Durga, they share a relationship as a brother and sister. Now this sister, Durga, she fights against Mayasura. There was a time, again, let's show you that. Here you see Shiva in the center, and then you have, Markandeya here. Markandeya here, holding on to the linga, and this is Yama, Lord Yama. So Lord Yama is the Lord of Death, and this is from the Brahadishwara temple. So Lord Yama, Markandeya is a little child who walks on the path of Dharma and who is prophesied to die at the age of 16. And when Yama comes to, catch him at that time and take him to the nether world, he holds on. He's a great bhakta, devotee of Lord Shiva, and he holds on to the linga, and at that moment, Lord Shiva appears as Kala Bhairava, and he kills Yama. So it is at this time that when Yama is killed, all diseases, there is no death, nobody to take care of the death part of our lives. So there is no death at all, and each house is stacked, dark, dingy, with sick people stacked to one, old people are stacked one over the other because there is no space to keep everyone and nobody is dying. So that was the kind of situation. And Mayasura was, he spread all kinds of diseases and his notorious brothers were creating havoc. It was at this time that Parvati came and killed all of them. And that's why you see in the Moolavar, you see all the heads worn on the waist and Mayasura at her feet. The head of Mayasura and her brothers at his feet. So this is the story, and immediately Shiva is so happy that she has, vanquished all of them. So he sends her she says, I have to go to the earth and do more of my work. So he sends her to Srirangam, where she is known as Vaishnavi Devi. And from Vaishnavi Devi's shrine, one day catches fire and she is not able to, the people are not able to know the reason, and they try to put off the fire but it doesn't go. She talks through the chief priest who says, I need to go. He talks in place of the mother goddess, and she says, I want to leave this place. I need to go out and do good for my people. I want to bring happiness to everybody. So, and relieve them from all illnesses, and hence she, the point of the jeer then arranges a group of people to carry her, Vaishnavi Devi, and place her wherever she feels fit to stay. And she, as a light, she directs the entire group, and they go to that particular place which is called Kannur, where there is a neem forest, and she decides to live there, and that is Samayapura, today's Samayapura. So see, you can see her being carried across the Kaveri by the Vaishnavites. They are all carrying her to the temple, to Kannur, Samayapura, that is Samayapura. And this is another very interesting story of, Bharat was invaded by the French, the British, the Muslims, and ever so many people, the Dutch and all. So when the French had wanted to fight the British, they had put up a camp. They had put up a camp at Samayapura, and at the same time, to fight them, the English people also had a camp there, and they made a tent, and they are kept under the leadership of Robert Clive. And this person, this person was Gingin. His name was Colonel Gingin, and he was a general of Robert Clive's army. Now this Gingin had announced a curfew, saying that nobody will come out because all the weapons are there in the tent, and nobody should be seen out after dark. If you are seen, you will be shot. But what happens in the night? He comes out to check on the whole place, and around that time he sees a lady in a yellow sari carrying pots of fire and walking across the road. So he calls out to her, but she doesn't answer at all. So he shoots at her, and there is a showering of flowers. The bullets all become flowers. So So that is the story, and all of the people in the town, in the village, they hear the cries and they come out when they hear the sound of the bullets. They come out and they tell him that, you know, that was Mariamman. She comes out every night. She moves around our town to take care of us. Why did you shoot her? And they all run to the temple, but the Vigraha is not there. The idol is not there. And then the idol is not there, and when the idol appears, everybody bows down. He is still struck, you know, wonderstruck, awestruck rather, and Jinjin loses his eyesight when he sees, he's not able to see her at all, and in 3 days he gets back, his eyesight is retrieved because he bows down to Mariamma and accepts his mistake. So, yeah, every year there is a festival. During this time, it is called Poochoridal. And in the month of May or June it takes place. People come with lots of flowers to cool her down. And she is the one, you know, this Mariamman, she is the only deity who takes on a fasting for all her devotees. It's called the Pache Pattini Viradam, where she is offered tender coconut, some moong dal, and then some, stuff like that. Some thinna maava and millet flour, and she's offered just that. And many of her devotees also live on this. They also fast along with her. So to cool her down and to help in a lot of alleviation of all these diseases, they have this this Poochoridal takes place in May, June, and it lasts for about a month. And this is to show you some of the kings like the Vijayanagara, the Hoysalas, the Pandyas, the Cholas. They all built temples for the goddess. This is the precincts which you will be seeing now. This is called the Sundara Vimana, which houses the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Garbhagraha of Mariamman. And then you have another Vahana Mandapam around, and this is very beautiful. Ramnan, would you like to add something to this? And this is called Sahasrakshi. She is just next to the Sanctum Sanctorum. You will find this place where this idol is placed. She is idol with Sahasrakshi means 1,000 eyes. So she is the idol which has 1,000 eyes. Yes. And she is the one who protects all of us from chicken pox, from all the poxes, chicken pox, measles, smallpox, everything. And that is Selandi Amman, and then you have the Astra Devi here. These are the festivals, coming to the festivals. This is one of this is during the Poochoridal, when flowers come from all over, all the villages nearby. See, this is in front of the flag, the Dvaja Stamba, which is the main flag, where when we have a long festival for 15 days, we hoist a flag, festival flag, and this is the mast where it is hoisted. These are the flowers which are brought. This again is this is the Utsava Murti. The significance of the Utsava Murti is that whenever the Mula Murti cannot be taken around. There are very many old people or people who cannot come to the temple, who are physically challenged, who cannot come to the temple and see the goddess. So then she is represented by a processional deity which has all the powers of the main deity, and that deity is taken around the streets and brought in procession. So this is the Utsava Murti, or the processional deity. See, she is carried like this on various vahanas. Vahanas are processional vehicles, like one day it will be a cow, or it will be a kalpaka vriksha, like a tree of, a very wish-fulfilling tree, or a swan, or a silver, or a silver prabhe. There are so many vehicles and each has a esoteric meaning also. This is a teppa where she is taken in a decorated boat on the decorated float on the teppam there on the small pond that is there in the temple. It is a temple tank. Each temple has a tank, and this is the tank. And this is the Ter. I told you, the Poochoridal, it culminates with this chariot festival, and people draw the chariot and they go on for, it starts in the morning and it's sweltering heat, very, very hot. In spite of that, there will be thousands of devotees pulling the chariot and offering a lot of their services to her. This is again another festival where she is taken in this kind of a chariot, palanquin, and she is taken, now in this she is being taken to the river, Kollida. This is a very beautiful festival where the Vaishnavites from Sri Lanka bring plenty of water in there, from the Kaveri. They fill water, they come walking all the way, and this is called the Pancha Prakara festival, and they bring where Abhisheka, where a lot of the processional deity is bathed with sandal paste and then with turmeric powder and lots of, and the water used will be brought in silver and gold pots, and this water is from the river Kaveri. They come walking all the way. And this is another very beautiful festival, which in which the relationship between the sister and the brother, Vishnu and Durga, is very beautifully portrayed. So she goes to the river and she goes around all the villages and she waits for the brother on the river banks of Kollida. So many people come and see her and all that. And then, on the around 10 o'clock in the night, Vishnu sends from Sri Rangam. He said, the Lord our Sri Ranganatha Swami sends sari, fruits, and lots of gifts for her. And it appears as if she's so very happy that immediately they drape her with the, they bathe her again, and then they drape her in the sari that has been sent by the brother. So it's a very touching and a very beautiful festival. And all these festivals take place in a year. Every month there is a festival that is dedicated to the goddess. Here we see the Shaivites, the Archakas, receiving the gifts from Ranganatha Swami. This again, she's wearing the sari that has been sent, and then they take an aarti. This is again Abhisheka, done for the Utsava Murti and for Ganesha, her son. This is during again another one of the festivals. At the same festival, these are very special scented roots which are used. And now to the Bhaktas. The Bhaktas are, devotion is blind. We cannot scientifically analyze devotion. Can we? Devotion is always blind devotion. So the people who come here, who come to Mother Goddess, are blindly in love with her. So they will carry anything, they will do anything for her. They will carry fire pots, they will, pierce themselves with spears. And this is how, see here, they are carrying fire pots both on their head and hands. It's a very beautiful, and they walk all the way from their village carrying it. This is, you can see, he's holding a huge spear that is pierced through his cheeks. The close-up of that, and they walk towards her. These are all done as, thanksgiving for their wishes that have been fulfilled. They thank the goddess for wishes that have been fulfilled, and they do this. Most of them are in a trance when they pierce. Otherwise, ordinarily you cannot pierce. Both of us have seen it, and of course many of you would have seen it. Many of the people here would have seen it. This is a group that during the Chitrai festival, they dress themselves up just to entertain the crowd that comes there. They dress themselves up as the different devis, and we conclude. A big thank you to all of you for having so patiently listened. I hope you liked our presentation. I would like to say a small prayer that I wrote this morning. A prayer to the Universal Mother. It's in English and it's very, very simple. O benevolent one, thou art my father and my mother. Thou art my beloved and my friend. Thou art absolute knowledge, eternal wisdom. Thou art the matter of the world and the energy. Thou art my all, O effulgent one. So with these, I just pass on the mic to Ramana.
Yes, so this is the, what do you call, legend or whatever it is, of Shakti and Shiva. So for all the husbands here from Vietnam, please give lot of bhakti and respect to your Shakti, your wife. And the wife should give lot of devotion to their husband, because it is like yin and yang, like Ardhanarishwara. So this is the story of Mariamman. When you go there, you will see this is a story about the mother goddess. Thank you so much.
Thanks to all the, special thanks on behalf of Ramanan and me, to all the organizers and to the faculty and the delegation from Vietnam. We are honored to be addressing you, and I hope you liked it. This is only the tip of the iceberg. You have to study and do a lot of research on it. We have just introduced you to the subject. Thank you.
To see the number of years you have been working on this project, sir. Madam seemed to be an ardent disciple of literature. You are an architect, but what you have been presenting is the history of Tamil Nadu, is the history of worshipping culture of Tamil Nadu. We were all awestruck, we were all wondering about the research that you have carried out. And sharing of knowledge is something great, but sharing the knowledge with a lot of passion. The passion that you evinced, madam and sir, is amazing. The house is open, and the delegates from Vietnam, you could ask her anything related to the presentation, related to Sri Mariamman cult, related to worshipping of Sri Mariamman. You can initiate, madam.
Introduction to Professor Tu, the specialist on this topic, and open for this discussion. I would like to introduce that you know that Professor Mom, is the Cham person, is the specialist in the Chamba culture. So, yeah, so maybe when you come to Ho Chi Minh City, you can have a contact with him so that you can have more discuss on the topic. So Professor Tu, you can initiate the discussion. Yes, maybe later, because before other people, they can raise the question. I would like to ask. Thanks for the presentation about the story of the origin of the Mariamman. But I wonder about the practice of the people, their daily practice. I heard that on during just yesterday, the practice of Mariamman religion related to the small mosques, small mosques. Yeah, and people have a very strong belief on this practice. Yes. Can you share with us about this story? Thank you very much.
So this, this has been a custom in our houses, that if anybody is afflicted with smallpox, we don't really take the medicines, or we don't take any medicine at all. We always allow the illness to heal on its own, because we believe that Mariamma has come into the house. So immediately we will, hang a couple of leaves neem leaves in the this one was in the doorway, so that nobody comes home. And we also will not sweep the house. We will not sweep the house and send our infection outside. So it will be all confined within the house. And when the illness subsides, then they will have a bucket of water with a little bit of turmeric and neem leaves, and they will have a bath with it.
Neem tree is connected with Mariamman. When you go to Samayapura, that means forest of neem trees.
It's a kind of medical treatment.
Medical treatment.
It's also the medical tree.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but when they, even though they don't use the medicine, but do they use the neem trees for the bathing or something?
Yes.
So the neem leaves,
The leaf is just for healing.
Yes.
Yeah, for
They use for
smearing water.
They will just
smoking
use
or
it.
something.
No, they will just use
Yes.
it.
In order to avoid itching sensation
I see.
to the affected and affected body.
Just when it is, just also the.
And from the tip of the neem, the juices will naturally enter into it, and that will naturally heal.
Oh, I see.
You remember she was telling about a story where the Yama, the lord of death, was vanquished by Shiva. So during that period, there was all the bad people, the Asuras, all the Asuras, the Mayasuras, they created all these diseases and they started spreading because they were not scared of death. So because of that, Mariamman came down and then she cured all the people. So that is why Samayapuram is associated with the smallpox.
Yes, the second question. Because on the way here, I saw a lot of neem tree. So that's why I asked Sura, that's why there's a lot of neem tree here. He said that because they are the symbol of the Mariamman.
So it was a neem forest.
Yeah, the neem forest also. So is it that because the Mariamman goddess is also the symbol of the health goddess? So is it that because of the neem tree is also the medical tree? So that's why they associate with the neem tree with the
And this is, this is even in the north when you go, she is known as Shikalamba, and they use neem leaves even there.
Oh, I see. Because it is a kind of ecological
Yes.
and religion also.
Yes.
Madam, for your further information, our Indian scientists, they have patented the neem tree. That is, the botanical name of the neem tree is Adagata indica. Indica means the Indian origin.
Indian
Origin, yeah. We have patented that tree. Yeah, they have all the properties. They have anti-malarial property, they have anti-parasitic property, and anti-bacterial property. That's why we know that the smallpox is a positive organ, is a virus.
A virus.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the plant have the antiviral property also. They have patented. They have scientifically proved also. Yes.
They also use
Yes.
for brushing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Day to day.
So,
They use
Professor Mon, your hometown has a lot of neem tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Europe, in countries like Europe and America, they have used the toothbrush. Like, yeah, bunch of sticks, it comes around
Yes.
$20.
That is similar to my country. Many name plant politicians. Some people hana ngay thai,
Yeah.
meaning the tree in the park.
Actually, that the bark is contained bitter in taste, very bitter.
Yes, so when it comes to forest and the
That's why it's all
already is boiling.
Yes.
After that,
Yeah.
what's what
A compound is extracted from the bark is called azadiractin. Yeah.
It's a very good
That's
medicine.
why they use this for medicine, because no one can live in this climate. Okay, so Professor.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's so helpful for our effort to understand better about the Mariamman worship cult. When we come here, we know that Mariamman worship cult is so diversity in Tamilnadu. The name of Mariamman is depend on the location people worship here. Yeah, that is interesting. I have two questions. The first question relevant about the colors, the color of Mariamman, because I see Mariamman temples in my country, in Ho Chi Minh City. The Mariamman statue was painted with light color. Yeah, light color. Yeah, and then when I come here, I also see another color, but it depends on the people who practice. For example, on the way to Mariamman temple, we see a lot of the Indian to wear custom with the yellow and red color. Yeah, I would like to try the question, what's the meaning of three colors of Mariamman worship cult? Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe the red color is associated.
Another question. Yeah, I have a second question.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So when she was narrating about that disease being spread, people are not dying, and she saw the people suffering, Mariamma, from Srirangam temple. So she was so angry with all those evil forces. She wanted to vanquish. So she's so angry. So probably when you are angry, your body turns red. And also the kumkumam, whatever you wear here, it is red. And yellow is considered as a holy color. Maybe she...
What about light color?
No, I tell you. See, we have 7 chakras, right, in our body, and the earth chakra is red in color. The root chakra is red in color. One thing, and this Mariamman, she is more connected. When you see Vishnu and Durga, or Shiva and Durga, they do all the work of they are the ones who give the boons, but the one who makes it, how do I say that, who makes it happen is the female counterpart, and that is Mariamman. So anything earthly, materialistic, it's all red in color, because the root chakra, which is the lower chakras, with the root chakra, and then you have the Swadhisthana and the Manipuraha, they are all, if you see, yellow, orange, red. So these are the colors which help to manifest, which are more grounded to the earth, which are more attached to the earth. And hence, when you, Mariamman is one goddess who helps us realize all our dreams. So if you really pray to her and if you ask her for anything, she will grant you anything. And anything materialistic will be granted by her. And since, red, orange and yellow are colors of the earth, probably that could be one of the reasons why she is red and yellow and red in color. It could be that.
There's the Mariamman statue to worship in my country. That also
is red.
This also come from Tamilnadu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was made by lake stone. Yeah, and people in the temple at my city that explained that only lake stone to make Mariamman statue, not to use another kind of stone. Yeah, but what's the meaning of black stone here and the meaning relevant to the three Mariamman worship? And that is relevant to the ecology of Tamilnadu. But the black stone is a sacred stone here.
Yes, we have the laterite blocks. But if you go for sculpturing that is a stone, which may not be that much stronger and longevity. We may not have, it will easily break after say 100 or 200 years. That's why most of the kings in Tamil Nadu, invariably throughout India, they have chosen the hardest stone, granite, so that it can be worshipped for thousands of years.
But what is the stone you said?
Black color, yeah.
Red color.
So red color stone is very creaked. It's a weaker stone. It's a kind of the lava being put out of the tectonic movements from the volcano eruptions, which has more pores in it.
It could be laterite.
Yeah.
Because your country probably, I assume, is volcanic.
Volcanic. So that's
you
why
may
we
have
chose the naturally available rock.
Yes.
So they can find a black hole.
Another question. Yeah, because Mariamman temple was built in the middle of the city in my country. So those who worship Mariamman, that is people living in the city, especially businessmen. But what about in India? Because I see that most of the people to worship Mariamman in India is a farmer. Is it right? Yeah, but yeah, businessmen in India, do they worship Mariamman? Yeah.
See, the followers of Hindu pantheon, there are many gods, Shiva and Vishnu. So all these primary, or you can say the chief gods, they are a little more sophisticated. You require a lot of Sanskrit, you require a lot of rituals and all that. Whereas Mariamma is like a mother. So for a mother, you don't need any language. So that is why even the common people, they worship the mother, because love between a mother and a small child is beyond language. So you don't require any specialized way of worshipping. Whereas these deities, Shiva and Vishnu, they are all, you need to have a lot of Sanskrit ritual knowledge, there's yagas, yagnas and all that. Whereas Mariamman, you just go and pray like how you approach your mother. So that is why it appeals to common people. It appeals to all the very basic level of common people, not only in Tamil Nadu, throughout India. In fact, if you see the number of temples built for Shiva, Vishnu and all the other gods, Mariamman temple or Kali temple is more than all these temples put together in India.
Did it answer your question? Because did it answer your question?
Yeah, I think that I would like to ask you, in India, who worship Mariamman?
Yeah, it's the common people. Very common people who, it is not only the common people, everybody worships Mother Goddess. It's not only the common.
Appeals to very common people.
Also.
Because common people, they can't speak Sanskrit, they cannot recite Vedas. So for all those people, Mother Goddess,
She appeals.
But when they come for Mariamman, what they ask for? Because mainly they ask for hair. But for example, like Professor Wu said that mainly the businessmen.
Yes, very true. Because she is the goddess who gives whatever boons you ask, all worldly boons, whether it is to study, whether it is your studies or whether it is your health, wealth, for everything she answers.
Especially for her.
No, especially because health is wealth. Yes.
See, for us, Mariamman here, it is not carved in stone.
Yeah, this is made of soda.
Have to tell them about the
Stucco. Here it's stucco.
For example, the perfect to worship Mariamman in my country. When people go there, they worship for business growing. They worship for children.
Yes.
They worship for happy family.
Yes. Yes.
And something for education. What about the?
Even here, because she is the one, she is the energy who manifests everything on earth. On earth, whatever materialistic things you want, she will just give it. You have to be only devoted to her. That's why you have the tantric, you have some goddesses to whom you worship even to do the wrong things, right? So it's like that. So even here, we pray to her not only for health, wealth, for everything. Yeah.
Even though Mary is in rain,
yes.
Amma is mother, but people in my city go there to worship not for raining.
No, that is rain.
Rain is ask for the mercy.
Mercy,
yes.
For everything.
Rain is, she is showers. Like the rain, she showers mercy, wealth, health, everything. Whatever you ask, she just showers it on you. That's why she's called Mariamman.
Thank you. Thank you. Another question?
We
wanted to say something. Only it should be made of stone.
The statue need not be necessarily made of stone.
Yes.
Here, if you see in Samyapuram, which you had gone in the morning, it is not made of stone. It is made of mixture of lime and so many things, and it's not made of stone. Our statue here in Samyapuram. Same thing in Puthanampatti, our own village. Here also we have a statue. So the statue there is also not made of stone. A statue made of stone will need a dress to be adorned. But here if you see, the statue is already dressed with all the ornaments and everything. So you don't need to adorn her with any jewelry or anything. So that sort of a statue is here in the Samyapuram here which you see here.
So we don't have Abhishekam for the movement. We don't bathe it.
Some of the agamas means principles by which you consecrate a god. You give life to a statue or whatever it is. Till it is consecrated, it is only a statue. But you breathe life into that. That has certain agamas, principles and all that. So for a stone, there is a kind of a agama. You can also make it out of wood. Like in Kanchipuram, Varadaraja Swami temple, there is a Bhakti Varada.
I see. Because there's a lot of kind of material to make the Mariam statue in India. But in Vietnam, only one statue, only one statue. So it's secret. Yeah. So we would like to know and why they made Mariamman statue by leg stone. Yeah, that is a secret for my country. Yeah. That is a secret. Yeah, because in Mariamman you have many temples. You can make Mariamman by cement, by stone, by gold or something. But in Vietnam, just one. Yeah.
Even metal. In the famous Mariamman temple in Ujjaini, there will be only head, and that head is made of metallic.
Mother witnessed element and folk culture, folklore, prominent feature of the Mariamman worship. Let me clarify that first. Of the obedience of research, Indian research. Thank you. Yes. Opinion of Indian research.
What is your opinion? What is your research opinion about Mariamman?
Indians?
Yes.
Yeah, see, you have Adi Shankara who has written the Saundarya Lahari, and then in which he extols the greatness of, even in literature. If you see Tirumurugaatrupadai or Sangam literature, all of Sangam literature talks about the greatness of the Tamil literature, talks about the greatness of Devi. So for everybody, a lot of research has been done, and everyone worships only Mother Goddess here. She is given precedence over the other gods. That's why she is called Adi Parashakti. Yeah. Adi Parashakti. Yes.
As a primordial enforcement of the force, she accomplishes every aspect of life as far the materialistic life is concerned. That's why Bhagavata clearly states she has been portrayed as the Mahamaya. That's other popular terminology in Tamilnadu. We call it as Mahamaya in a simpler way. But Yogamaya is of the consciousness of the of getting into the upper load with her support. But to acquire the materialistic aspect on this earth, most of we human beings go in search of the material aspects to embellish our healthy livelihood. So Mahamaya comes to the rescue.
That's why she's called Mahamaya. Mahamaya.
Thank you. That's why in Tamil terminology we term it as Iga Tara Subham Taravarnam, as far Lord Durga is concerned, who happens to be the son of Lord Parvati along with Shiva. So Iga means this worldly pleasures, Tara means the heavenly worldly pleasures. As we live here, we naturally to acquire the worldly wealth, health for our survival, for the survival of our fellow beings, fellow relatives and everybody. So only when we become satisfied and get saturated, we will think of the other world, what is there in the upper world. So Iga means this world, Para means the heavenly world. That's why in a similar way as the boon giver of among the forces, natural force, this is the primordial force. Aditi means the primordial force which is in every form. Let it be a small object which is kept on the table, doesn't have movement. The moment if the wind lashes over it, it will naturally get drifted. That movement is termed as Shakti, force. Energy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the pictorial presentation, followed by a wonderful explanation. I hope it created a lot of vibration in the minds of the delegates.
Yes.
That is why they were very keen on going on with questions. Definitely, Madam and Sir will be available. You can also have a chat with them. Now we move on to the second part of the presentation. Let me call upon Professor M. Seran to share his views on the unique practices of Mariamman worshipping. Being a professor of archaeology, he is an expert in archaeology. He has unearthed a lot of things about Tamil culture and Tamil heritage, which is going on in Keeladi, a place where the origin and tradition of Tamilnadu has been explored. And Professor is formerly advisor to Tamilnadu Tourism and Culture, and he is a well-wisher of our institution. And Professor is going to share his expertise on worshipping of Mariamman culture.
It gives me immense pleasure on being raised over this platform, being invited by the President, the Secretary and the gamut of faculty members of this institution on this occasion to meet you delegates from all the way from Vietnam, being headed by Professor Lang as the President of your team. So I thank one and all for having been invited to share my expertise and experiences in this regard on Mariamman cult. This is the month meant so important for Mariamman, who is otherwise termed popularly in the local vernacular as Mahamaya. Here we celebrate every now and then, and as a boon giver, we started approaching the deity. It's a common practice even for the common man to enter into the threshold of Mariamma or any deity or gods or goddesses to seek the blessings in order to fulfill our desires. In that way, Mariamman has been popularly termed throughout India, in particular Tamilnadu. There is a poet by name Subbaratnadasan, otherwise popularly called as Bhavendra Bharatidasan. He is the disciple of Mahakavi, the great poet Bharatiya, Subramanya Bharatiya, the national patriotic poet, under whom he got nurtured. When he was asked to write a poem in front of his friends, he uttered, Yengangu Nokinum, Yengangu Nokinum, Yengangu Kalinum, Saktiyada. This is the popular phrase. The poetry narrates the importance of Mother Goddess. So when we talk of Mother Goddess, as an archaeologist, we take the material evidences right from the Indus, which goes as early as 5,500 years before present, in the form of Mother Goddess terracotta images being recovered from the archaeological sites. So from that time onwards, people started giving importance to mother worship. Once again, after 2,000 or 3,000 years from the advent of the Indus civilization, the Vedic culture dominated the Indian scenario, pan-Indian setup. During that time, they have ventured through various Vedas, Puranas, Aranyakas, and what you call the epics, Mahakavyas. Through these literatures, copious literature, we have been nurtured with the many forms of the gods and goddesses. When we talk, how come the Mother Goddess came into being? During 8th, 9th century in Tamil Nadu, there is a philosophical propounder who happens to be one of the trios of philosophy, Adi Shankara by name, who propounded the Advaita philosophy. He narrates what are all the religions which existed in this portion of the peninsular region is nothing but the Shanmata. What is Shanmata? Shanmata means 6 kind of religions which existed during his contemporary time. What are they? Sauram, Sakam, Saivam, Vainavam, Kaumaram, Ganapatyam. So 1200 or 1100 years back, this philosophical propounder had given a vision of the existing religions in this peninsular region as 6 kinds of religion. Sauram, worshipping the natural elements like worshipping the sun, moon, star, mountain, rivers, hills and hillocks, animals, plants, plantations. So every form of nature is worshipped. That's why in rock paintings as well as in some of the later paintings we get all these things. Even on what you call the representations in the form of what you call currency as Panchmawali coins, we get all these symbols punched over it, like a crescent, triple mount or moon, a snake, all these things, star. So all these things have been incorporated by the man force so as to represent their feel of natural input into them. Let me give an example right now. If I am blind, can I be able to locate the mouth, mic, or can I be able to walk without any hurdle to downstairs? Or can I see you as white or black or red or pink? So the primordial force is only nature. So that's why aptly that propounder Adi Shankara has quoted the primordial religion as Shauram, worshippers of nature. At some point of time, after many centuries, it could have made them to think of themselves when the prehistoric man, having got united with the right partner, could have given birth to a child. So he might have wondered at the sight of yielding a baby or giving birth to a baby of his shape or her complexion. that made him to wonder at. There emerges the creation of man. So it is only the Shakta worship emerged at this point that has become turned into as mother goddess, that has got incorporated by the society as early as 5,500 years before present in the form of clay objects or clay figures to represent the mother, giving that much importance. Then comes during Gupta time, Maurya, Shungas and Gupta time. These are all the facets of history in India. In all these periods, of course in South India, right from Sangam age, as she pointed out in her discussions, she was quoting Kottavai. As far as the Tamil land is concerned, it was divided into 5 divisions. Ayundinai, in Tamil we call it as Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, Palai. Kurinji is nothing but hills and the adjoining areas. That's the landscape. Wherever hills are there, this kind of land we call it in Tamil as Kurinji. Mullai, forest and the adjoining areas. Similarly, then comes Marudam, paddy fields and the adjoining areas. Neidal, the coastal belt or the literal land where you will have all the coastal sand and the marine waters. This is the fourth kind of land division, and the last one is very much associated with barrenness. When we talk of barrenness, think of before coming up of this institution by the Doyen effort, by the propounder of what we call the Mukkaya Pillai, who has showered every yearning from Malaysia to build this institution. But for this institution, the entire area would naturally be a barren land. Without any plantation or it will be so barren because rocky surfaces all over. Such areas, you cannot have any occupation except to have or to help rob people who cross this distance. That's why the goddess meant for this barren landscape is none other than Kottavai, who is the other form of Amman or Shakti. Shakti in total represents the enforcement of the omnipotent, omnipresent and omniscient force. That is in every one of us. When we say that this is what you call non-living object, when we sit on it, it gives a comfort. And this has been made by the force of the human beings who made it and shaped it. So once again the force comes into picture to design it. So it means the primordial force is being confined not only with the image level but also it has its expanded levels. So in that way, Adi Shankara first states the primordial religion as natural worship. Then comes looking at the importance and the progeny of their own young ones that has attracted them and forced them to worship the mother goddess. That has become the mother goddess worship, which at a later point of time had taken too many deep-rooted divisions. To put it very precisely, the Saptamatrikas. Who are the Saptamatrikas? 7 mother goddesses. Who are they? Brahmi, the personified counterpart or counter-feminine of Brahma. When we call Brahma, actually he was 5-headed. The 5th head on the top was with an intention of raising over his quality. Lord Shiva plucked it. That has been plucked out of his head, and as a result it got stuck in his hand, which was unable to be removed. As a result, he was roaming all around. From Puranas we can learn all these stories. So he was roaming in order to leave, in order to take out the attached with the head of Lord Brahma. It was only Kali who had driven it by tempting him of too many things. At some point of time, when Lord Brahma that plucked head of Lord Brahma, having been attracted, came down to the earth. Immediately, Amman, Kali, kept her leg over the head. So that is an indication, and as a result, Lord Shiva has been relieved. So even for the God, when we say that God is powerful than the goddesses, but in turn, these goddesses have to take up what you call the removing of the curse of even the male deities. So the Sakta form of worship came to be Brahmin, then comes Vaishnavi. This is the feminine counterpart of Lord Vishnu. When you see Lord Vishnu, he will be having the Krita Makuda, that is crown, like that of a king. In the case of Lord Shiva, he will either be shown as a sprout out matted hair or a clubbed matted hair, Jata Bar or Jata Band. As for Lord Vishnu is concerned, he is comparatively of an emperor or a king. That's why in what you call popular phrase, we call these deities Alankara Priyaha Vishnu, Abhisheka Priyaha Shiva. In a similar way, when we take these things, we will be able to equate how Shiva will look like. He will wear what are all the things which the society neglects and gets feared of, terrified. He will take a snake and roll over his body, on the neck, on his arms, on his hips, and he will also hold the snake, cobra. So he is not at all frightened. He is a man very much affiliated to the smashana, that is a graveyard. He will spear the ashes over his body, and he will take the flower which is not liked by the society. Like there is a flower, we call it as irk. So that flower will be offered. Then he will have the kapala. Kapala is nothing but the chronic representation of Lord Brahma's head. That as the what you call begging bowl. That's why he has been given the attribute of a begging bowl, that of a skull. So in the case of Lord Vishnu, he will have costly jewelry, attirement, kindly dressed. So this way Brahmi comes, then comes Vaishnavi, then Varahi. Varahi is nothing but the syncretic forms of man with animal. Such things we also get in other parts of the world. Let us take Sphinx, the fusion of lion with that of the human, lion body with that of a human head. We call it as Sphinx, as far as Egyptian civilization is concerned. In a similar way, when we go for the incarnations of Lord Vishnu, there are too many such forms. In a similar way, as for Shiva is concerned, the syncretic forms of Shiva merging with Lord Hari and Parvati merged with as equal halves. So, which means they are not separate, they are one and the same. We should perceive in that angle. So, Saktas had first Brahmi, Vaishnavi, Varahi. Varahi is the boar head, pig's head with a human body. And next comes the Maheshwari, who could be one of the versions or the unified version of Mariamman and thousands of forms. So there she comes. Then comes Indrani, the counterpart of Lord Indra, who happens to be the custodian of the heaven. So that feminine aspect comes. Then comes Kaumara. Kaumara is nothing but the counterpart of the god of this portion of the land of the peninsula region, Lord Muruga. Muruga is the Tamil Kadavul, in Tamil we call it as. He is the primordial male god of the Tamil land, whose feminine counterpart with feminine aspects. That figure or that form is termed as Kaumaram or Kaumari. Then comes Chamunda. Chamunda is nothing but the feminine counterpart of Yama. She also has another name as Yami in Sanskrit. So in this way, the Sapta Matas emerged. And at a later point of time, the Sapta Kanyas also approached. Then comes the other aspects of too many forms of Mariamman, Punniyamman, Kaliyamman, Kodamurutiyamman, according to the whims and fancies of the people and the regional importance. So, Serathu Mariamman, Kotai Mariamman, Punnenallur Mariamman, Tanjai Mariamman, these are all the forms. They have given such names running to more than 1,000 in names. So, this is the sporadic spread of the Mariamman cult throughout Tamilnadu, and that has penetrated deep into the society, and as a matter of closeness, they can associate with the motherly god for launching anything as they desire. Immediately she will give. When we talk of all these things, you could have seen all the items which they have kept. The moment you enter into this hall, like Purchudidal, Teechatti Yendudal, then Mulaipari Chatti Yendudal, Karanam Eduttal, Kavadi Eduttal. These are all the typical festivities and the offerings being offered. And apart from these, of course, there is a bunch of sugar cane. Here in Mariamman temples, some of the people, if they go and approach the deity for a progeny, for getting a baby, after getting a baby, they will immediately go with their canes being tied with a new cloth as the cradle into which the newborn baby will be put in, and they will be holding it. The husband and wife will hold that child to the Mariamman as a matter of gratitude and sense of thanksgiving. They will take the child. We call it as Totti Eduttal in Tamil. Totti means cradle or palanquin, being shaped out of the cranes. Apart from these common festivities, there are also fearful. It's not so easy. People may think it is so easy to pierce. Can I do piercing of the tongue with a small spearhead or trishula, metal? That will give pain. After performing it, we have to forego at least a fortnight to get that wound. By the grace of goddess, will naturally be cured. Similarly, piercing through the cheeks and carrying the small rata or kavadi being hooked with hooked and pinned on the backside of the skin. They have to pull it. It will be too heavy. So these performances are not so commonly done. But people who walk, you could have seen on your way. On your way you could have seen groups and groups of people clad in yellow robes, barefooted, they are walking towards Mariamman temple in order to give thanks for the boon which they have aspired and which they have got it done by the blessing of the Almighty. So other than this, there are also some unique festivities or unique practices being conducted at some point of some portions of Tamilnadu. There is a place called Sodavaram very near Thuthukudi. I had been to that place being compelled by one of my close friends who happens to be an attaché of Kanchimat. When I had been to that village, it was a festivity time on those days because they used to conduct it for 7 or 10 days. So invariably every family had to slaughter an animal as a matter of thanksgiving to their deity, Kaliyamman, Bhadrakaliyamman. So they offered. If the parent has 3 sons and all of them got married, they too will have to offer such offering of slaughtering the animal, preferably goat or hen. So they also slaughtered. As I happened to live with them for 4 or 5 days in that house. What happened? They started offering the meat mixed meal every time. So it is not that easy to consume all the meat every day, but they have to close it. At the final day, the housely head, being the parent or the father, he has to offer a sheep, not goat. Even that is to be consumed only by the relatives. So in that way, what happened after the consumption? They have a particular festivity, they call it as Alivesham Vidudal. Alivesham Vidudal is nothing but smearing the body. After consumption of these meat, mixed meal, in all these days, they used to smear the clay paste over their body, go around the temple and walk all along all the streets. It will go to a stretch of 2 to 3 kilometers. Everyone will naturally go in groups. So in that way they have to go around. When I visited this, I didn't know the importance and sequence of it. When I had been to Anna Center of indigenous medical hospital at Anna Nagar, I had seen some people being smeared with clay. When I asked the doctor, they said, in order to make the body, particularly the chill body, to expose the heat in a sudden way, we used to smear the body with the mud paste or the clay paste. After some time, what will happen? When it gets dried, it will naturally pull up the pressure inside, make it to burst out, and that will naturally relieve the patient from such ailment. So in that way, here comes once again the medical treatment. As we talked earlier, when the President Lam posed the question of smallpox related question to Brinda and Ramanan sir, we were able to realize how neem is so attached as a matter of tradition. We invariably, the afflicted family will keep a bunch of neem leaves on the front entrance, so that whomsoever comes as a newcomer, the moment they look at the neem, they will get cautioned. They may not enter the house. It is a matter of hygiene to protect the infected and the inflicted patient who is suffering inside. And they used to have a mat spread on the floor. They won't use the mat or the cot. Neem leaf mat will be spread, over which the afflicted person will be made to lie on. And they used to have fanning in order to drive the itching sensation of such bubbles. Other than this, there are also other very many festivities. As factor of time, let me strictly finish with this. Let me go some of the slide presentation of Kiridi site so that you can also get carried off. So that you can get archaeological related material evidences which the archaeologists have unearthed for the presentation of the cultural impact through these. When we talk of, see, now I am slightly deviating, you should pardon me for that. Just for information sake, having come all the way from Vietnam, you should also learn what type of archaeological missions we undertake in the Indian scenario. As far excavation is concerned, which emerged in this portion of the pan-Indian setup in the year 1863, Robert Brucewood, he ventured into the Pallavaram hills and he picked up a lithic tool, paleolithic tool. Of course, as you, majority of the people from social sciences, paleolithic tool, that was the first tool which was recovered from Pallavaram hill, a suburb of Chennai city. The present Chennai, the erstwhile Madras, presidency. So from there he picked it up, and as a result, what happened, which has given a leverage of
going in search of such materials in the other parts of Tamil Nadu. And as a result, he was forced to enter into Atrambakkam, a suburb of more than 70 kilometers on the northwest of Chennai city. That site had yielded many lorry loads of Paleolithic tools. So here, this is the model of the Buddha Chaitya of Sanchi, replica which existed in Amaravati. It's a southern portion. State is Andhra Pradesh, Amaravati. Here, the material they have used is what you call Palna limestone. It's because wherever we get any material, they will naturally prefer only that rock. As far Perambalur region is concerned, here they have chosen many of the temples being constructed out of the volcanic or not volcanic. It is what you call geologically embedded fossilized rocks they have used. That's why it is a kind of weakest rock. In the case of Tanjore Brigadishwaram and other temples of Tanjavur and other parts of Tamil Nadu, they have used the hardest granite as the material. That's why they stand even after thousands of years. Next one. This is the real plate of which is being kept in government museum. This is the model of the Amaravati Stupa. The date goes more than 2000 years before present. Next one. This is very much associated with Buddhism. Next one. This is the stone image of the state. Next one. Here comes Arikemedu. So, as far as excavation is concerned, after the exploration being conducted by Robert Bruce Wood at Atrambakkam and other sites like Gudiyam. Gudiyam is one of the earliest caves containing some rock paintings. So, excavation started to emerge in the year 1876. Jogger, he was an ethnologist, being accompanying scientist with the then collector of Thinnaveli, ventured into the site at Adichanallur. They have excavated the site. They have brought many urn burials, and into which they have also recovered swords. In some of them, diadems. Golden diadems is nothing but what you call in Tamil as nethichuti. Such practice exists in the marriage customs of us even to this date. So that has been recovered. The date of it is more than 3000 years. Here is the excavation. Sorry, earlier one. Here is the excavation. This was conducted on scientific parlance with the precision by Mortimer Wheeler in the year 1945 at Arikemedu, a suburb of the Ariyanguppam lagoon water in Pondicherry. It's a portion of Tamil Nadu, but it's union territory. There he has excavated, and we had the opportunity of Madras University in collaboration with Pennsylvania University. We conducted the excavation in the year 1989 to 92 for 3 seasons, and we also unraveled the what you call material remains, which is very much resembling and focusing and projecting the transoceanic contacts of the Tamils we had with that of the Roman world. That's why in Sangam literature we get, are you able to follow? Yes. Because as I have to write, you should pardon me. Due to time, want of time, I am rushing it, or else I can slowly take it up. So, the transoceanic contacts of the Tamils with that of the Greco-Roman world, as well as with the Chinese world. Everything, every material from other world have got congregated at a port town, which is now a port. It is not at all a port town, it is just a hamlet in the present scenario, which was a bustling harbour 2000 years before present. That is nothing but Kaveri Pumuttinam, a place 30 kilometers east of Mayiladurai. There, the excavation was conducted between the year 1963 to 72 by Archaeological Survey of India. They have unravelled 3 brick structures. One is a wharf. Wharf is nothing but a jetty projecting into the coastal water to tie the vessels. For loading and unloading purposes, the vessels will naturally be tied in the harbour area. So, the commodities. நீரின் வந்த நிமிர்பரி புறவியும் காலின் வந்த கருங்கரி மூடையும் குணகடல் முத்தும் தெரிகடல் முத்தும் குணகடல் அகிரும் கங்கை பயனும் காவிரி ஆக்கமும் ஈழத்துணவும் காழகத்து ஆக்கமும் அறியவும் பிரியவும் ஈங்கியே வளர்ந்ததை மருகி. These are all the poetic lines of Puthanampatti, lines 185 to 193. This is nothing but the literature which date had not been accepted prior to the conduct of Kaveri Pumattin excavation before 1963, when the archaeologist has recovered, exposed these brick structures. One is the Waf, the other one is the Buddha Vigara, and yet another is the coast, the estuary point reservoir. We immediately have Kallanai as the primordial life. Even to this date, it is having its utility, which has been raised by the Sangam, Kariyala Chola. So in that way, that stands as a testimony for the engineering masterpiece. In a similar way, at the estuary point of Kaveri, very near the Bay of Bengal at Kaveri Pattanam, they had constructed a brick structure as a reservoir. So that has also been brought up. When the wooden planks being planted at equidistance of the barb had been taken to the scientific laboratory, which had given the date as 285 BC. That has given the date to fix Sangam literature as the earliest date. That has given the lineage as 3rd century BC as the earliest date, and the upper date as the 2nd or 3rd century BC. So you can see. So in that way, 500 to 600 years of span had been assigned only after the excavation. Materials got exposed. These are all the Kaveri like which will have 5, 7 or 9 limbs. So that lamps made of terracotta has been unearthed. This is another shape. This is the Roman intaglio. This is a gemstone into which can be worn as a ring stone or a pendant or a necklace. What do you call amulet like. So in that way, that stone contained Cupid and other forms of Roman mythology. So that has been recovered. Here you can see one of the mythological figures of the Roman world. Here comes the trenches in a more scientific, systematic approach. Then he had conducted, what we will have conducted. Next one, please. Yes. Sure. Yeah, let me rush. This is the warehouse. Before conduct of excavation at Archimedu, this is the existing building of later centuries. Next one, please. This is the burials. We have seen the what we call Amaravati Stupa or Sanchi Stupa for any of its kind. This is the primordial form, which comes once again from the base of the burial system which existed in the peninsular region. Sudur, Idur, Tadil, Vaitya, Kaulpur, Idatur, Irivor. These are all the types of burial system. We dispose the deceased person. Because in modern technology we know only 3. Taking the dead body by burying it or putting it in a car or burning it. But in Tamil literature we get 6 types of burial practices. Next one please. This is the Buddha Vigara. Got excavated from Kaveri Pumattin. There the Buddhist monks lived in 2 rows of chamber. In one of the chambers, a Buddha image made of bronze has been recovered to a length of 7 centimeters, like the offering which had been made to your president by the president of your national university, by the president of this college at the inauguration of the function. Next one, please. Here you can see the engineering masterpiece. It doesn't have any net bolt. Instead, it has the what you call cavities wherein they have been fixed, and which is the railings of the Sanchi Stupa. Next one, please. Here we have the Nalanda University. They have this belongs to 4th century, 500 or 600 years before present. Next one, please. Here they had hostels for international students as well as the national Indian students. Invariably in every room, a senior along with a junior will naturally be given accommodation. The senior will have the inner core of the chamber, and the junior has to take the pathway bed in order to approach and communicate to the senior. And their head, it is exactly at right angle. They will have a square bed into which they will have a what we call fire lit lamp, so that for study purpose they used to have. Next one, please. This is the step tank from Hampi. So they performed rituals of say 1008 priests used to sit at every step, at every level, to propitiate the Almighty in order to bring fortune to the empire. That is the Vijayanagara Empire at Hampi. Next one, please. Over. Next one. Yes. This is all the next one, please. Here comes the temple building. It is typically designed of a human form. When I stand from foot to head with the what you call the tuft, that represents, that is being represented on elevation. The foot, the basement, Adhisthana is the foot, right up to the hip level, and the body is the tired level of the structure. And over the structure, tires, you have the what you call the vestibule like portion, that we call it as the griva, neck, and the head is the shikara, and over which the hair, which is projecting up in the form of a finial, that's what the structure, that is being equated with kalasha, metal or terracotta or other objects. Next one. This is the Vaikuntha Perumal temple, as we already seen. Next one. This is the balustrade at Bihar. It's of Mauritian. This is Nalanda once again. Next one. This is the Buddha stupa at Nalanda. Next one. Buddha images. Next one. These are all the burial. One second. Earlier. This is the burial, intercepted burial. In the same chamber, the members of the family have been buried together. For example, if an epidemic attacks, naturally 2 or 3 or many of the same family will die. So in that case, they can bury in the same chamber. Next one, please. This is the dyeing bag. When we talk of the Silk Route trade, which existed, stretching its way from China through Indonesia, through the Indian coastal towns like Masulipatanam, Kavaripumbattinam, and other ports of the western side of the peninsular region, reaching into the Arabian and to penetrate into the Greco-Roman world. So this is the double chamber to have the dyes to be made or given to the cloths. So dyeing bag. Similar dyeing bags were also recovered from Arikemuru. Next one. This is the wharf I was referring about from Kavaripumbattinam. Here you can see at equidistance from here at a distance of equidistance of 1 to 1.5 meters. The wooden planks were there. When we have sent it for the laboratory for scientific analysis, carbon dating, that had given the leverage of fixing the date as early as 3rd century BC. With this, let me conclude. So, thank you all once again with the chanting of few lines. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhusya saga tvameva vidya dravino tvameva sharvo mama deva tvameva sharvo mama deva tvameva sharvo mama deva Annayumayi, Tandayumayi, Sondamumayi, Bandamumayi, Selvamumayi, Kalviyumayi, Sarvumane Paramurule, Sarvumane Paramurule, Sharanam, Sharanam, Sharanam. நின் பதமலர் பாத தரிசனம் தரணும் தரணும் தரணும். ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி.
Thank you very much, sir, for the insightful presentation. Very inspiring, sir, to listen to you. We could see the professorial passion for providing information to the delegation from Vietnam. We are thankful to you, sir. On behalf of the management, I would like to place on record our sincere thanks to you, sir. Now we enter into the important segment of today's seminar. As soon as you arrived, you had a glimpse of the paper poster presentation, and then we entered into, in the second part, the seminar presentation. There were a lot of deliberations. Whatever is presented in the form of Mariamman cult and then worshipping of Mariamman deity, now you are going to witness a spectacular show of whatever has been told so far. Whatever has been the practice of Tamil culture, the people who do a lot of penance, a lot of fasting, all that were going to be showcased within 10 minutes to you. The first part of the dance will be a kind of welcome. The second part, as it was mentioned in the presentation by Mrs. Vrinda Ramanan and then by Professor Seiran, the offerings were many. All such offerings were aimed at cooling off in order to reduce the anger of Sri Mariamman. So here they have a kind of dance drama. We all know that there are many forces dancing in ourselves, but here these young buds are going to show us the dramas, the dances of our own emotions which is happening in our lives. So this has been done by them for about a couple of days, and they are going to enthrall you. So let us all give a big round of applause to the young buds to make a spectacular show. Over to Miss Kritika. She is the trainer of this troupe, and they are going to perform the cultural show. Over to you, Miss Kritika.
ஐயோ என் புள்ளைக்கு என்னாச்சுன்னு தெரியலையே, திடீர்னு மயக்கம் போட்டு விழுந்துட்டான், யாராச்சும் காப்பாத்துங்களேன்.
ஒரு தீய சக்தி அந்த உடம்புக்குள்ள இருக்கு. எங்கேயோ போகக்கூடாத இடத்துக்கு போய் தொடக்கூடாத ஒரு பொருளை தொட்டு இருக்கா உங்க மக.
நாங்க இப்ப என்ன பண்ணோம்?
நீங்க போகக்கூடிய இடம் வடக்க இருக்கு. உங்க குடும்பத்தை காக்குற அம்மன் அங்கதான் இருக்கா. நம்பிக்கையோட போங்க, அம்மா உங்களுக்காக அங்க காத்திருக்க.
ஆத்தா, என் குழந்தைய காப்பாத்த ஆத்தா. தவம் இருந்து பெத்த குழந்தை ஆத்தா, எப்படியாச்சும் என் குழந்தைய காப்பாத்த ஆத்தா.
அது ஊமை, வெறும் கல்லு. என்னென்ன செய்வ? வா, என்னென்ன செய்வ? உன்னதா வா, வா.
நீ வா